When the Hutt had steered her anti-grav litter from the room, members of the Sun Guard showed in a group of tall reptilian sentients who stood on two thick legs and whose broad snouts curved downward at the tip. Damask's previous contact with the Yinchorri had been limited to holoprojector. Now he leaned forward in keen interest as the spokesmember introduced himself in gruff basic as Quayuk, Secretary of the Council of Elders, and launched immediately into a diatribe denouncing the Senate for refusing to admit Yinchorr to the Republic. With bellicose encouragement from his comrades, Quayuk went on to say with fist-pounding emphasis that although their homeworld had been charted hundreds of years earlier by the Republic, Yinchorr remained an underprivileged, back-rocket planet deserving of far better treatment.
"Or someone will pay in blood for the ongoing injustice," the Secretary warned.
Larsh Hill waited until he was certain that Quayuk was finished to remark under his breath, "I'm not sure even the Senate is ready for them." Holding Quayuk's baleful gaze and motioning with his hand, Damask said, "You have no interest in seeing Yinchorr seated in the Senate." Quayuk took umbrage.
"Why else would we have journeyed all this way?"
"You have no interest in seeing Yinchorr seated in the Senate," Plagueis repeated. Quayuk glanced at his green-skinned brethren, then looked at Hill.
"Is Magister Damask deaf or in ill health?"
Hill turned to Damask in concern, but said nothing. Damask concealed his astonishment. As rumored, the Yinchorri were apparently resistant to force suggestion. But how was it possible that midichlorians, in a being of relatively low intelligence, could erect an impenetrable wall against the influence of a Sith? Was this some sort of survival mechanism? The midichlorians' way of protecting the consciousness of their vessels by refusing to be manipulated? He would need to possess one of these beings to learn the secret. "We might be willing to help you lobby for representation in the Senate," he said at last. "But the process could require standard years or even decades, and I'm not convinced you have the patience for it." Quayuk's wide nostrils flared.
"What's a decade when we have been patient for a century? Are we not sentients? Or are we required to embrace the conditions along with accepting them?"
Damask shook his head. "No one is asking you to applaud the arrangement." Quayuk's expression softened somewhat.
"Then we have an accord?"
"We will draw up a contract," Damask said. "In the meantime, I want some assurance that I can call on you for a personal favor should the need arise." Quayuk stared at him.
"A personal favor? Of what sort?"
Damask showed the palms of his hands. "Of whatever sort I require, Secretary." The Yinchorri and his brethren traded uncertain glances, but Quayuk ultimately nodded in agreement.
"Done, Magister."
"A favor?" Hill asked as the Yinchorri were being seen out. "Nothing more than a test," Damask told him.